All right, welcome back. Doomstream, anyone? Huh? Fancy a little game of Doomstream, do you? Oh, friends, what are we gonna do? So, who was it? Who's William Pence? Love what the Supreme Court did today. And what did they do today? That's right. They basically said what we all kind of knew. Um, I don't know. I've taught American government for years, so let me take you through it. Basically, to have a fully functioning government, you need to have an executive. You don't want a king, you don't want a grand master, you want an executive. But with politics and everything else going on, well, you have to have it so the guy has power, but there is a check on it. And as we all know, through checks and balances, that the legislative, the executive, and the judicial work in a three-part mini democracy, as I used to say. Okay. and today, what they basically said was, the executive can do what he wants. However, he's got immunity. However, he can't do something so heinous that the legislative body can bring up the articles of impeachment. We have had impeachments, obviously. I mean, Trump is the grand master of them. Are there Lebanon strikes? Nothing yet. I can take a look. I was just kind of doing the crisis report beginnings and all that, but I didn't see anything on Lebanon strikes. I wasn't knee deep into it, so all right, fine. I'll go check it out. Maybe there's Lebanon strikes. I'm going to talk about the old Trump. Nope, not really seeing anything yet on it. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything. Nothing on that. I mean, it is, it's like 5 a.m. over there, but yeah, not seeing anything right now on any kind of strikes. I didn't get real into that until I start with domestics. You'll notice that I go and I do the domestic stuff, and then from there I move into the more international. So anyway, not seeing that right now. If it happens, we'll get on it. Back to Orange Man Bad. So yeah, the executive can basically not do whatever he wants, but he can run the country. Um, and then if he does something that is not allowed, if he does something illegal, if he does something that is an impeachable offense, the check and the balance is that the legislative can go, hey, we noticed that you did X, Y, and Z here. We're going to impeach you. And they hold a trial and they have a vote. And it's very, fair and democratic. That's why it's really tough to impeach someone. However, if it gets out that, the president, heaven forbid, did something really terrible, like committed it like a real crime. Let's say he uh, did something terrible to his wife. Okay, just as a example, and we wake up and we find that in a fit of rage, insert nameless president here did a terrible act of violence towards his better half. They could hold him in contempt. They could say, okay, he did this. We have proof. We got video, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do a trial. And then they go and they vote. And then from there, I mean, so it's not like he can just do whatever they want. My question is this, okay? My question is this. Why is it that the left always goes to violence? Have you noticed that? Something comes down the pike and they're like, oh, well, now that means I get to kill people. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. So I don't know. I just, you know what? We'll start there and then I'll go back into other stuff I was going to go in. I want to get into some financials and stuff, but we'll just go and we'll start. You guys choose, baby. It's your choose your own adventure. We'll go at the violence thing and why the left always, always, always goes towards violence. Why? So they're hinting at the worst of the worst in response to Supreme Court. I mean, now you want to talk about an impeachable offense, you know, taking someone out in the name of politics. I was brought up, I'm old enough uh, to be brought up in America where I remember both parties, like if they didn't win, they didn't dream of killing the other side. They thought, oh, we didn't really resonate with the females. We didn't really resonate with the blue collars. We didn't resonate with those people. We need to have better messaging. Then they go at the woodshed. They bring it together and they work hard and they get a better platform. It wasn't, wow, that didn't work. Now we need to go kill them. Seriously. I mean, why does it always go that way with them? Look at France last night. What happened? Seriously. The left lost, and what they do, they're like, let's go down to Paris and burn it. I mean, at some point there just has to be a recognition of mental illness. Seriously. There has to be a recognition of mental illness. I think that if I go and something happens to me that I really don't like, my default setting isn't to go and to kick them off of the earth. I've had plenty of things go wrong in my life, and things that I thought were unfair and I didn't like and set me back and all that, but it wasn't like, okay, now I got to go take them out. My mama told me a long time ago, she said, son, success is the best revenge. If you really don't like that person, go become so incredibly awesome and so good at whatever it is you do and so successful that every time they see you, every time they hear about you, every time all of that, they can't talk smack. All they can do is just see this like really successful person, and hopefully it just bugs the crap out of them. There is a person here. Every time I go live, no matter what is going on, this person automatically hits a downvote. Now, it's usually one person out of I'll get like 1 to 5. It doesn't matter, whatever. Engagement is engagement. If I get 10 downvotes, whatever. But I usually get about 1 to 5. I've got about a 98.7% rating on my videos. Not that that matters. It really doesn't. Clearly, all the engagement and stuff. I'm at 20,707 subs right now, and I'll probably be there till freaking Christmas. Because Borg said, all right, he's political. He said too much. We'll just boop, hit the button, and the old PrepperNow is at 29,707 for 6 months, and I will be there. I accept this. It is what it is. I don't care. That's what they want. Someone in the back said, okay, we're going to put him here. Everything you see here is all managed, whatever. But this person, every single time I put a video out, hits the dislike button. And honestly, it doesn't matter. And the first thing I thought was, I'm going to make my videos so awesome that this person literally, I love the fact, because I don't think about them. I really don't. I just accepted that someone will automatically dislike it. And I don't know if it's the same person, but pretty consistent, pretty darn consistent to the point where it kind of seems like pattern behavior. Pattern behavior is usually done by a single person. Okay. Psychology 101. And, I hope that person, I am rattling around in your friggin' head every night. I hope every time the name PrepperNow crosses your little brain waves, it literally just makes your little pee-pee between your legs just shrivel up. I really mean that. I mean that. I hope I aggravate the hell out of you. I do. Because all I'm doing is I'm just being honest. Like I said the other night, one of the greatest things about being anonymous here, Tamara, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I haven't seen you. I know you. I know what you're up to, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly. I'd rather. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just using this as an example, and you're absolutely correct. I'd rather have 200 people here that give a crap than 1,000. They're sitting there watching someone play Roblox. But success is the best revenge. It is what it is. So back to the original statement of all this, why is it that every time there is like a something that doesn't go the left's way, why do they always default to just like the nastiest of the nasty? And to that person that, whatever, it might not be the same person. Maybe it's a group. I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting and being consistent. Even if you hit the down vote and you move on, just thanks. The engagement helps. And we're doing well here, obviously. I mean, I've been growing as of late, and if I'm at 29,707 till the cows come home, fine. If I blow up to 50,000, then great. If I go to 100, whatever. I'm not. Again, this is a catharsis for me. Being able to come here and find these stories where they get all pissed off that the Supreme Court actually made a correct decision. As much as Sotomayor wants to sit there and get angry about it, that's life. You're not going to get everything your way. And the problem is that on the political left, they've gotten to a point where they just they can't lose. I mean, this is the problem when you always get a trophy. One of the greatest things my dad ever said to me. My mom said a great thing. She said success is the best revenge. My dad said another great thing to me. He said, not everybody's going to like you. And he's absolutely correct. There are people that in my past, and there's a couple kids like in high school I can think of. I somehow became friends with them on Facebook and they unfriended me because just for whatever reason, they didn't like me in high school and they just didn't like me. And it is what it is. So there's people out there, everybody on the stream, there are people out there that don't like you. I know. Are you okay? You be able to handle it? Sometimes people don't like you. It is what it is. You move on. You don't care. What does that matter? But with this political stuff, leftists has responded with outrage to the 6-3 decision, much of their political hopes resting on a strategy of burying Trump. Here's an idea. How about your political strategy is make platform decisions that help the country? Why is that such a thing that they can't do anymore? They have to go through lawfare and they have to dream up these, terrible scenarios where they go and they drone strike the president. I don't get it. Make your policies not suck. Here's a clue. People don't like it when the country gets overrun by people not from the country. It tends to take jobs away from the people that are just getting set up or in a socioeconomically poor way, say, I don't know, African Americans in the inner city. I hope they do well. I hope all of the African Americans in all the inner cities get jobs and thrive and pay their bills and have wonderful things happen. I sincerely do. So as a political party, I would hope that my political party would be like, you know what, let's set up programs, let's come up with ideas to make it so that happens. Not, you know what, they made me butthurt, it's time to kill them. Seriously. So I'm asking a question, at what point does it not come out that, you know what, maybe these people are just kind of wrong in the head? Seriously. At what point are we just admit that this mode of thinking is wrong? It is wrong in the head. President Biden, acting within the scope of his official duties, could dispatch the military to take out the conservative justices of the court. Representative Zoe Freaky Lofgren of California. She wants the military to kill the Supreme Court. Now, she'll say, I was just being funny. But why is that the default setting? Harry Sisson, According to the Supreme Court, Biden could now send in SEAL Team 6 to take them all out. He could send in the military to take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. You'd probably be impeached if you sicked SEAL Team 6 on the Supreme Court. I'd imagine Joe would. I'd imagine Donald would. So this mode of thinking, Harry, whoever the hell you are, isn't exactly like in reality. And I think that's the problem. I think that's what I noticed when I kind of went from left wing to far right. I noticed I was like, man, a lot of this stuff they're talking about is just fantasy. Absolute fantasy. So I just, why? Why do you have to default to killing people? Like, I think that's a pretty legitimate question. What should Biden do with his immunity? I'm sure this T-Dury, whatever the heck her name is. I mean, look at her. We're looking at probably a late 30s, early 40s millennial. So obviously she's going to act like a freak. Should I play it? No, I don't trust it. Tools for legally punishing presidents already exist, including impeachment and charges of treason. Treason, by the way, is the only criminal offense in the Constitution that actually has a laid out sentencing, and that is putting someone to death. That's treason. I would imagine that sicking SEAL Team 6 on the conservative justices of the court would kind of be an act of treason, kind of undoes that whole checks and balances configuration that they decided to go with, which I personally think is pretty smart. So, yeah, I just don't get it. Beyond this assassination of a political opponent, conservative members of the Supreme Court are not recognized as an official duty of the presidency. Democrats, as usual, take their conclusions to the dramatic extreme because they're freaking nuts in order to provoke public fear through emotionally energized disinformation. And who is it that's got all of the people on team cite the disinfo and cancel the person? Again, you want to know what the Democrats do? You want to know what the left does? You want to know what, and the rhinos too, the right wingers that are on their team and want to just be their controlled opposition, and like the whatever the team was that played against the Harlem Globetrotters, the Washington Generals, whatever the heck they were called. I mean, it just defaults to insanity. So I don't get it. I don't understand the mode. And this is what they do. This is where they go. What they're really upset about the fact that Trump is free and clear to finish his election, which he should be, against a person that Joe is basically, I mean, they're screwed. And by the way, I don't know if you heard about this. Here's another one for you. Here's another one. Chip Roy, you might know him. He's supposedly a super conservative from Texas. Never really heard anything I didn't like by him, but, Chip Roy basically said we should invoke the 25th Amendment on Joe. What Chip doesn't understand is that if they do that, then they basically give the Democrats an out with Joe, and then here comes Hillary. So socialists are in control of the entire Democratic Party. I don't disagree. I think they've been in control for a long time. Look at the picture up top. You know what that picture is from? That picture was from when Trump was in presidency in Central Park, New York. They had a play that used modern politics and did Julius Caesar. Okay, the play Julius Caesar, and of course the subject was Trump. The guy lying on the ground there was a Trump-like figure. So again, dreaming of like hurting people. So one of my favorite lines that Trump did the other night. Again, I'm not Mr. Trump. I honestly, I'm not. I just, he's the only thing in there right now that I think actually be okay. Oh, and my wife admitted it. She wasn't going to vote for him, but if it is Dr. Benjamin Carson because she really likes him, she is going to vote Trump. So I hope it is Dr. Benjamin Carson for the VP. So I guess there's some sanity in my millennial wife yet too. But I just, we used to go and win elections with a better ideas, better things for the country, things that would thrive on success. And now the crazy has overtaken the Democrat Party, really. And, you could say that there's some crazy people in the Republican Party. There's definitely some rhinos. But we're just at a point now where it's like, you want to murder someone because they politically disagree with you. That's insane. Literally, that is the definition of insanity. And there's a bunch of Democrats out there like, yeah, get them, kill. I don't get it. So it should be noted the presidents already have immunity from civil liability. They do. Because again, if you sit there and lawfare someone to death, thank God founders of this country kind of saw into the future. So while in office, must be impeached for a violation before lawsuits can proceed. So there is a way to get rid of someone. If he really was doing nasty things, you could impeach him. And they made it so it's kind of a supermajority. So it's not a political thing. It has to actually be a really offensive thing. So Supreme Court has simply extended that immunity to cover criminal prosecution, as they should. And the whole reason for all of this, for Democrats and Republicans, is so that the president can rule as he sees fit with a mandate and put things in. And hopefully the rule is like, I want economic prosperity. I want to, solve inflation. I want to make it so healthcare is affordable. I want to get cheap prescription drugs for the elderly. I want it so kids in America aren't graduating with a 6th grade reading level. That's the kind of stuff I would like to get back to. Actual, like, solving stuff. Why is it that, our monetary system is urinated over everything, and we go out and buy stuff, and it's I was on the road today, and I didn't have time to eat, and I just had my dental appointment. And I'm trying to lose weight. We're down almost 25 pounds now, and I eat the Skinny Pop. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's a popcorn, and it's great because it's really super low cal. I love popcorn. It fills me up, and it's not that caloric. So instead of having lunch, I'll go and it's kind of like a meal replacement. I'll get one of those bags at the grocery store, $5 for like 5 ounces of this stuff right now. I almost didn't buy it. But I was like, screw it, $5, whatever. I don't do this often. But I mean, just like that's something that needs to be solved. Popcorn shouldn't be $5 for 5 ounces. Houses shouldn't be unaffordable for young millennials and Zoomers. It shouldn't. Like, that's the kind of stuff that we should be talking about. That's the kind of stuff that we should be getting and figuring out. Farmers shouldn't be in Idaho getting the crap taxed out of them over their water. Like, that's ridiculous. These people create food. Food makes us live, right? Ark Living, my brother, thank you so much for giving the 5 memberships. On that note, friends, I put out some intel during the day to my members, usually of things that are important so they can understand just the community. It has to be YouTube approved, but if you want the non-YouTube, you want the stuff that can get me kicked off, you go to Subscribe Store on Locals. But anyway, $2 a month will get you into the club, into the group, the memberships like Ark Living and others. Like, he is the GOAT. Anyway, I'm done talking about this. This is not anything for anybody to be tripping over. This is literally something that is just known. The president has immunity, so he can rule and do things effectively. And if he doesn't do a good job, he at the very minimum will get voted out. And if he really does something grotesque, he'll get booted out by the members of the House and in Senate. Okay, that's the way it works. So all these people saying, "God, I wish he'd drone strike the Clarence Thomas." I would absolutely freak out if that was the first thing that came to my mind. I'd really have a problem with myself. I'd be like, "Whoa, man, you need to take a step back." So I don't know. I don't get it. I if you don't like what's going on, you take your money away. I was telling my daughter today, we're talking about all this stuff because we had a lot of problems with our internet today. And I basically had to go out and drop $160 on a new modem. Somehow I was able to sneak in the crisis report this morning. Then after that, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose. My wife couldn't work, yada, yada. It is what it is. And we troubleshot. He had, literally 4 like service calls, and, it would work. It wouldn't, it would, it wouldn't, it would, it wouldn't. And finally, the guy's like, it's probably your modem. I was like, all right. So I go out, get a new modem because I can rent one from them for $10 a month in perpetuity. So, $300 after 30 months, or I can go drop 150 and get a new one. And 15 months, I own it, and there's no big deal. Right. So, yeah, when I got a router for this place 2.5 years ago, when I got the super internet, and we do have the super internet, it was $80 for like the good router. Now it's doubled in price. It's literally $160 now. That's in 2.5 years. The prices shouldn't double. 2.5 decades? Okay, maybe. 2.5 years? No. Scrappy Cat, you lovely human being. Can I talk to you about Scrappy real quick? She sends me stuff. I haven't gone through the Putin thing completely yet. But the one thing I love about Scrappy is she doesn't absolutely agree, and she sends me things that make me think. I like that. The thing I like about some random dude is he doesn't agree with me on everything, and sometimes he questions and he asks good questions. I like difference. I like people that think differently. We're not all supposed to think the same way. We're not all supposed to just be on the same page and doing everything the same way. That's Borg like. Supposed to challenge, supposed to question, supposed to say, you know what, maybe we can do this a little bit better. So I get a little aggravated. But Scrappy, thanks for being a member. But I appreciate you challenging me and being respectful. All other people as well. Some random dude, I don't know if he's here tonight. SRD is he's my rear admiral, as I call him now. It's kind of a joke. But he'll be like, hey man, don't forget that there's rhinos out there, and the rhinos can do some nasty things too. He's absolutely correct. It's not all one team. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. So let's look at some of these policies. Let's look at some of these wonderful things that are going on out in the world that are just going to make you vote Joe. Huh? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. There it is. Look at all this wonderful stuff. Let's take a look. Moody's predicts 24% of office towers will be vacant by 2026. I don't know about you, but that's kind of something that's important, maybe just a little bit important, more important than whether the president has some form of immunity for acting as the executive and doing what he wants to hopefully help the country. This was a big one here. I always said, take your money away. I don't go to Tractor Supply Company anymore. I go to actually a place called Farm and Home because their prices, A, are better, and B, they're like a little local store. and they're much more non-woke. Well, guess what? They're ending all their DEI stuff, no longer supporting the alphabet soup and the global stuff that has made you all hot. You know why? Because people took their money away. They said, you know what? You guys are a bunch of jerk faces. I don't like what you represent, and I'm going to take my money away. That's what I did. I haven't bought anything from TSC. I used to be in TSC every week. I haven't been there in years now, probably. I think it's about a year ago. I figured out they were saying, hey, we need to have little kiddies going there and seeing men dressed up as women. I don't agree with that. I don't. So I moved on. I said, nope, we're not gonna buy from you. And I guess a bunch of other people did too. I went into that article and I looked, and everybody was like, I don't care what they've done. I don't care what they're agreeing to peel back. I'm not going back there. I'm never buying their crap again. I say good. If you screw up and you do something stupid and you do something that it goes against decency and what's good for the country, you should have your money taken away. You should be voted out. You should be, left to just kind of dry up and go away. It is what it is. If you're doing good things will happen. U.S. consumers do not like fake McPlant burgers. You're kidding me. You mean people don't want some over-processed super, whatever lima bean-based crap on a burger that's been filled with so much sodium it'd choke a horse? You're kidding me. You mean people don't want that? Yeah, of course. They don't want that. Slow down, Nike. Hard to ignore. People are broke. All this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we should be talking about. People's golf swings and, whether you can drone strike a Supreme Court justice. It's not really important. What's important to people? Having real food that is grown by farmers that are not jacked with by the state. Tractor Supply doing their little DEI thing. They should get their butts kicked. We should be concerned about 24% of office towers being vacant by 2026, because that means your neighbors are going to start to lose their jobs. Half of the Pennsylvania hospitals are operating in the red. That's a problem. 20% of California lives in poverty. That's a problem. Why aren't we talking about this stuff? Champlain beef near New York, Vermont border, heavily damaged by fire. Why are all the fire problems going on? Let's talk about that. Oh, yay, buy now, pay later craze coming to Apple, because that's going to blow up in our face. That's going to be the next GFC number 2, the global financial crisis number 2. It's going to be those buy now, pay later things. You know why? Because they're not accounted for in all of the Federal Reserve data and stuff. So they're like, yeah, America's got, $1 trillion in credit card debt, which is terrible. But there's also like 500 billion in the buy now, pay later apps that's not accounted for. People are broke. 24-Hour Fitness says BLM and Pride approved, but American flags are only for holidays. So, like that right there. How about we revoke your business license, 24-Hour Fitness? How about that? If America's such a terrible place, why don't you freaking move to Pakistan? Okay? They'd love you there. They're really into the pride thing too, from what I understand, right? Go on over there. Average home ownership costs in the U.S. surged 26% in 4 freaking years. That's wrong. I bought a house in 2019. I sold it in 2022, and it was up 35% in price. That's not normal. A lot of problems that we need to address. Drone striking Clarence Thomas is not one of them. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Arc Living, thanks so much. Let's see what he says. Local feed stores and local owned car parts stores, hardware stores, just like building community, they will remember you, and you'll get great advice from folks Live what they sell. Man, the local feed store to us, um, the place I was talking about, they load the stuff up for you. They got the youngins in there, and they say, "Oh man, Mister Prepper, now if you need it, I can load that up in your trunk. I can take that. You want me to help you?" That's what I'm talking about. Tractor Supply Company, no, forget it. You shouldn't be going there. That company needs to die. Sorry, it does. Yes, it'll be a terrible thing when the people lose their jobs and all that, but you know what? They can go work for the farm supply store that's going to be hiring because all the new business. I mean, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. Let's see. Let me look at some more. OTR per mile operating costs 2023 record high. You can't run a business if prices are going to record highs. You know, it's just it is what it is. But I mean, look at this: 20% of California lives in poverty. I mean, look at that. What do you do with that? 20%. 20%. What is California doing where 1 in 5 are literally impoverished? I don't get it. I don't understand how that's like good or not worried about. The lady from California, Lofgren, maybe she should talk about that. Instead of drone striking Clarence Thomas, maybe what she should do is not drone strike Clarence Thomas, and maybe she should try to fix California. Maybe make it so not 1 in 5 are impoverished. So this is all the stuff that's going on. I mean, look at this crap. Look at it. Exactly. Silver Sacks got a good point. 20% in poverty. Well, the minimum wage is $20. I mean, they're gonna inflate their way to prosperity. Thank you. That's an excellent point. Absolutely. Too much taxes. Yeah, too much taxes. California has way too much taxing. So let's take a look. Let's go in. Let's take a look. Hold on. Let's present it and share it. And we'll do the 20% thing. And here it is. Cost adjusted basis. California leads the nation in percent living in poverty. Blame the progressive oligarchs like Gavin Newsom. That's why Gavin Newsom is not going to be the guy. I'm sorry. He's not. There's too much baggage, too many skeletons in that closet, I think. So let's get Chip Roy. Chip will come on out. He'll get the 25th going. Thanks, Chip. Good job. And we'll, let Joe retire to the sunset. He'll get a nice library and a book written about him that'll be completely favorable. And then, we'll get the real candidate in, and it'll be either Michelle or it'll be Hillary, or I mean, if they're smart, they would go with Bashir or who's the other one? The other Democrat that's like just kind of normal. I forget, whatever. Doesn't matter because they won't do that. Ready for Hillary, baby. Many still see California as the home of the new progressive era, often viewed as an exemplar of social equity. One reflects, as the New York Times column put it, the shared values of our increasingly tolerant and pluralistic society. What a crock of crap. Truth, far from embodying the egalitarian ethos, because nothing says egalitarian like throwing bricks at Ted Cruz's face at a pride thing. It is pioneering a new kind of almost feudal society, a relative handful of oligarchs and a vast bureaucratic clerisy, perfect word, lorded over a massive class of what are essentially serfs. I was going to say, you better be using serfs, baby. A feudal society. Welcome to California, friends, where you can get your little plot of land, you get your 40 acres and a fool, and actually not 40 acres, 40 square feet in a apartment. Nowhere to grow anything, and you're basically screwed. Look at that. Feudal society. That's what I'm talking about. It's crazy. Oh, I love pizza, John. I do. Nothing to see here. Is that a comet in the sky? Is that a comet? Nope, we're not going to go there. Sorry, bud. That's the thing that gets Borg. Yeah. Look at that. Highest proportion of Americans living in poverty, even without adjusting for costs. No California metro area ranks in the U.S. top 10 in terms of well-paying blue-collar jobs, but four, Ventura, Los Angeles, San Jose, and San Diego, sit among the bottom 10. It is called poverty. Rent is too dang high, and people are not making it. But don't worry, Representative Lofgren, she's on it, man. She's on it. She is going, and she is going to make it to California. Is going to be a just bastion of awesomeness. Let's see where she represents, huh? Rep. Lofgren Cali. Let's see where she is. Where are you at? Zoe Lofgren, 18th District. Let's check that out. The 18th District. Zoe Lofgren, representing California's 18th District. Looking at the map, looks like Sacramento. Am I right on that? Watsonville. Let's see. Yeah. 18th District. So, congratulations. Let's see where the California 18th District is. Let's look at the map real quick. There it is. Currently represented by Zoe Lofgren. Median household income, $156,000. Wow. Well, I don't make that. I don't make that at all. Oh, San Jose. Wasn't that the place I just mentioned? Let's see. Let's check that out. I think it was. Wasn't that the place I just mentioned? It was. Look at that. California metro area ranks in the U.S. top 10 in terms of well-paying blue-collar jobs. Before, sit amongst the bottom 10. And who is that? That's Ventura, Los Angeles, San Diego, and ding, 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 San Jose. Zoe, why don't you STFU about like drone striking Clarence Thomas? And why don't you get to freaking work and help the people that are impoverished in your district? What does that sound good? Because I'm old enough to remember because that's what the representatives were supposed to do. Am I right on that? That's kind of what I heard. I heard that representatives supposed to do that. So anyway, I don't get it. I don't get it. Violence, the default setting of your political betters, friends. Because when the going gets tough, the going gets violent. Zoe Lofgren, representative right there, 18th District, California, one of the most impoverished in the state, talking about let's see, what did she say? Let's do it right. Let's see what she said. Gotta be, all right. She said, hold on. This thing. What'd she say? Oh, my thing just screwed away. It doesn't matter. My thing just screwed up. I'm tired. It's time. Time for bed. Oh, there you are. President Biden, acting within the scope of his official duties, could dispatch the military to take out the conservative justice of the court. Thank you, Zoe. It's awful insane of you. We appreciate it. Thanks for playing. So I don't know about you, but maybe we should ask a little bit more of our political betters instead of them getting all butthurt that Supreme Court ruling. By the way, some of the things Joe said tonight against the Supreme Court were very uncouth and very wrong. Guess what, Jackhole? You're going to lose. Some of the decisions are going to go your way. And I can think of a few things that you supposedly have lurking in your closet that could be just as easily put up to a vote in the Senate and House to see if it's impeachable. Just saying. I'm not going to trot those out, but you all are smart enough to know. So that's the problem with all this. We're supposed to be figuring out problems. We shouldn't have kids reading at the 6th grade level and graduating. People shouldn't be making $150,000 a year and still scraping the change to go and get a loaf of bread because they're broke. People shouldn't be coming out of trade schools and colleges with so much debt they can't buy a home. Homes shouldn't be going up by 35% in 4 years. You know, there's so much stuff going on. It's aggravating to see it because a lot of this with a little bit of common sense, a little bit of elbow grease, and a little bit of, effective policy could be dialed back. We could make things a little bit better. We could. But we don't have that. No, we got these jackasses in there sitting there talking about drones striking SCOTUS. Kind of tough to fix stuff when people are saying that, All right, friends. We're going to call it right there because from here, I'm just going to roll into a rant. We don't want that. It's been getting tougher and tougher to hold thy foot. Anyway, I appreciate you being here, all 29,707 of you. So we'll look forward to Christmas when we'll be at the same number. It is what it is. I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad that we're still rolling. I'm glad that we're at least able to talk about this because certain people get in office, certain people get their way. These kind of chats, even on public broadcasts like this, will not be allowed to happen. And those are the real problems, and that's the thing, I know that all kinds of stuff is going to happen and people are going to, hinder and they're going to try and, suppress and all that. That goes to the territory. But for those that just want to outright shut up, that's the kind of problems that we need to fix as well. So anyway, one thing at a time. Here's to the Supreme Court. Here's to Orange Man Bad. Here's to a little bit of sanity getting placed out there. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other stuff that comes out that aggravates us. Who knows which way the wind blows is going to go with Amy Coney Barrett, but we'll see. Friends, it's good to have you here. Hit the like button. Join up if you like. And join me nightly for a 30 to 45-minute foray into sarcasm in other cryptic language to really express just how aggravated most of America is at the absolute toilet show that this place is becoming because our representatives are more worried about drone striking SCOTUS over a ruling she didn't like than they are actually fixing it so their constituents can actually afford to live. A little bit aggravating. We're going to wrap it right there. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. PrepperNow out.